We'll be drawing a two focal point 3D room. And the first thing I need you to do is very faintly on your piece of paper, make sure that the paper is in its landscape orientation. Draw a line across the middle and do it very faint. This is going to be a horizon, but in a room you don't actually see the horizon, so this is just a guideline. Okay. Once you've drawn in the horizon, place two focal points far apart. Again, I just used the edge of the paper. There's one, here's the other. Okay, so these are going to be the two focal points I'll be referring to throughout this demonstration. And the first thing I need to do is to set up the shape of my room, which is quite easy because all I need to do first is to draw a straight line down somewhere, which is going to be the back corner of our room. So it can be a little bit more to the left or to the right. It looks better if it's not in the middle, so I'll just put one just down here, like so, and just make sure that you use a ruler and measure the line, make sure it's straight up and down. Okay, now this is what we do. From the focal point on the left, draw a line across like this, one on the top and one along the bottom. Now, you can experiment with different angles, and I'll just do it like this. Okay, and then on the focal point to the right, you draw a line here across, but make sure it connects and intersects the first line on the top that we drew. And then here, draw another line that intersects with the line on the bottom. Okay, so if you can't see it yet, well, it'll be obvious once I start erasing some of these guidelines. So I erase this, and I'll erase this line. And since I'm at it, I'll erase that horizon because that horizon was just drawn so that I could decide where to put the focal points. Okay, you don't need the horizon anymore. So can you tell now, as I'm erasing all these lines, that basically I have formed a room. Okay, you should be able to tell that this is the ceiling, this is the floor, this is one wall, and this is another wall. Okay, so let's start putting objects into our room. Okay, it's very easy. Again, in this type of drawing, you only use three types of lines generally. They're either straight up and down, or they go to one of the two focal points. So I'll do a standard size, maybe like a cabinet or a large bookshelf. I'll draw a line here. I'll draw a line here. And I'll draw a line here. Now, I'm probably drawing the lines longer than I need to have them, but there's a reason for that, because I don't really know exactly how the shape will turn out until I actually do it, so I always leave a little bit of extra. So I'll draw a line here and a line here. And then from here, I'll draw a line here. And a line there. So let me erase this, all these lines, all these extra lines. Okay, and you can see I have basically drawn a rectangular shaped piece of furniture. Okay, and this is exactly the same type of shape that we drew in the two focal point 3D landscape. Same shape as the buildings. Okay, make sure you also erase this line here because this is where the floor meets the wall, but because it's behind this cabinet, you wouldn't be able to see it. Okay, so you're going to have to erase quite a lot today, but I'm sure you're getting used to that by now. Okay, and if you want, you can always go back and add doors. Okay, so if I wanted to make a door, I draw it as a straight line right here. And you'll notice that I left this panel bigger than this panel because you have to remember objects that are closer to you are always going to be larger than objects a little bit further away. Okay, so it won't look good if I just do it right down the middle. So I always make sure that this is a bit wider than this. Okay, so anyway, that's a very basic shape. We can add other shapes as well. Let's add some windows. Okay, again, I'm drawing two lines, and from here I can draw a line. From here I can draw a line, and once I erase some of these guidelines, you can see that I've made a window on this side here. Okay, so again, very similar to what we've done before. Okay, let's try a door. Okay, I'll do a door on this side. And I don't have to draw the line here where the floor meets the door, but I do need to draw one line here across for the top part of the door. So once I erase these guidelines, I'm left with a door. Okay, let's try a sofa. Okay, so I can make a little sofa here, and what I'm going to do is I will draw an L shape. Okay, so here's one line. Okay, so here's the back of the sofa. I'll draw a line down here. You'll notice that I'm drawing it perfectly straight. And then I'll draw a line here. And then I'll draw another line right here, perfectly straight. Okay, so I'm just going to clean this up a bit. Basically, I should be left with an L-type shape. Okay, so I could have had the L shape this way if I wanted to, but it's really up to you. Okay, so this is the backrest and this is the cushion. So basically, I have to connect this corner, this corner, this corner, this corner, and this corner to this focal point. So using a ruler, you would draw one line, two lines, three lines, four lines, five lines. Okay. All right. Now, right now it looks like a bench that goes on forever, but we just have to finish off the remainder of this sofa. So what we have to do is I have to draw a line here, okay, to the focal point on the right, and this is where the top part of the sofa ends. Then I will draw a line perfectly straight down here, and then I'll draw another line here, and then I'll draw another perfectly straight line down right here. Using an eraser, I can erase all these guidelines. And I hope you can kind of see the sofas taking shape, because what I should be left with is an L-shaped three-dimensional sofa. Okay, this line here has to be erased because this is actually the line indicating where the floor meets the wall. But now it's blocked by the sofa, so I erased that because you shouldn't be able to see it. Okay, so these other lines can be removed as well. Okay, so if you were able to draw an L-shaped building in the first several lessons, well, basically it's the same idea, except now you're looking at it from an angle. So there may be some slight adjustments, but that's basically, it could have been a L-shaped building, very similar. Okay, so this is where you sit down, this is your backrest, and you can, add details like cushions and pillows, and, I could have changed the width of some of these parts, but that's the shape. Let's just add a couple of final things. If you wanted a garbage can, you could have drawn an oval here, an oval here, and then I'm using angled lines because most garbage cans are wider near the top and narrower near the base. So using an eraser, I have to erase this line because you will be able to see that. Okay. Likewise, if I wanted to add a lamp, an oval on the top, oval on the bottom, and then just draw a base and just erase some of the lines you can't see, and that's a lamp.